Recently, we have been doing some powerful techniques in Pandas, which will be definitely helping you in the algo trading. So we have seen Pandas series, we have seen Pandas data frame, and today we will see another object that is Pandas GroupBy. So now you can see that we have multiple ways, but in algo trading, the time matters. So you have to apply the most efficient way, and GroupBy is the most efficient way in the Pandas. Hello friends, welcome back to day 27 of the 100 days of hell with Python algo trading. Recently, we have been doing some powerful techniques in Pandas, which will be definitely helping you in the algo trading. So we have seen Pandas series, we have seen Pandas data frame, and today we will see another object that is Pandas GroupBy. And this is so crucial and important. Why? Because it will help you to get your results faster and more efficiently. It will save your time, it will save your space, and also it is so easy to use. You just have to focus in today's session and you will realize that how powerful this is. And before that, I would like to request you that please go through all the multiple choice questions and all the tasks which we have pushed to the GitHub repository, because those are equally important as with the videos, because you will have to practice, otherwise you will forget, right? So the best way is to just watch the videos, then you attempt the multiple choice questions, and then you have to proceed for the task and the mini projects, right? So without a further ado, let's get started with the Pandas GroupBy object. So let's first understand the definition of GroupBy in Pandas. So a GroupBy is a powerful tool in Pandas that is used to split the data. Pay attention to this word, split the data into groups based on some criteria. Once the data is split into groups, you can apply various aggregate functions on these groups. So basically, we can say that we have three steps. So the first step, when we apply a GroupBy on any data frame, what happens? It split that data frame into multiple groups. So it depends on the criteria which we have applied. So it will split that particular data frame into the groups. Then it will apply the functions, the aggregate functions. So whatever we apply, let's say we apply sum, mean, median, whatever. So it will apply on all those groups, and then again, after the application of those aggregate functions on those splitted groups, it will combine back into a data frame and it will give us the results, right? For example, in our stock trading data, we might want to group by the ticker and then calculate the total volume traded for each stock. So let me show you. If you remember, in the last few sessions, we have used this data frame, Algo DF, right? If you are watching this video first time, please go through the previous videos of the Pandas series or data frame. Then you will be able to understand about this data frame, right? Anyways, if you are new also, then it's very basic. So when we check this Algo DF data frame, you will get this output, right? And we have around 32,000 rows and 7 columns in that. Basically, we have O, H, L, C, V data of the tickers. And in that we have traditional stocks like Apple, Microsoft. Then we have Forex, and we also have some crypto pairs, right? So if I apply GroupBy on these, and let's say if I apply with the ticker, right? So we know that for a single ticker, we have multiple rows in this data frame, right? What it will do after application of GroupBy on ticker, what it will do, it will split the whole data frame into multiple groups, right? So here we had like Apple. It created a separate data frame of the Apple, and again the XRP, and remaining, let's say we had this data frame here, right? We applied the GroupBy on ticker. So what it did, it created multiple data frames. Let's say one for the Apple, right? Another for the Amazon. Let's say another for the LTC, USD pair, the crypto one, and another for ETH, USD, right? It depends on how many unique values you have in this column, and based on that, it will create that number of groups, right? And after that, what it will do, whatever we apply, it depends on us that what aggregate functions we are applying. So here what I did, here instead of applying an aggregate function, I applied simple value counts, right? So then it went to each one of these separate tables, right? and now it is counting the value. So it will give us the number of times that particular row is in that. So in this data frame, the apple, this particular row is twice, right? Similarly, for all the groups, it will display the results, but here it just truncate and just displays the initial 5 and the last 5 values. So let's say we had this data frame here and we applied group by on this. So what happened? It splitted all these results into 3 data frames, you can say. So the one table with the X ID, another for the Y ID, and the last one is for the Z ID. Correct? Then we applied sum on that, the aggregate function, right? So it applied on this. So we get this result, X is 50. Then we get 70 on this, and then we get 90 on this. And the last step is it combined the values and we got the result back, right? So the basic step is, first we apply the group by here, and then the first step is split. It will split the whole data frame into multiple tables based on the number of unique values in this, right? And then it will apply the aggregate functions which we provide, like it could be sum, mean, median, average, anything. Then it will calculate those functions, and again in the last we will get this is the second step, the application of aggregate function, and the last step is we will get a combined result, right? Split, apply, combine, and that's it. Hope it's more clear now. Don't worry, we'll proceed with live examples after this. Let's say we have another data frame. So it got split in 3 tables. The first is yellow, the second is green, and third is blue. Correct? Then what happened? Then we applied the mean aggregate function on these tables. So what it did, it calculated the mean of every value. So this was the second function, the aggregation function, right? And the last one is it just combined the results and we get a modified data frame. So we can say combined results, and we get the modified data frame with the mean values of all the different colors. So if you can imagine, it is really powerful when we have millions of values and we cannot see directly that how many groups are there. It can be 1,000 groups and we want to apply some particular function on that. It becomes so powerful, and you will feel that in algo trading, this will be a magic wand. The group by will be a magic wand for you if you perfect this. And I assure you that it is not difficult. You just have to practice few questions which we will provide you absolutely free on the website, the multiple choice questions, and then the GitHub repository task, right? That's it. If you do that, you will be a magician, right? And you will realize that how helpful this group by object in your algo trading career, right? Let's have a look on another example. So here we have a table. In that we are applying group by on this column, the sales representative. The first step was split. So this whole table got split into 5 tables. Why? Because we had 5 unique values. The first one is William Taylor, the second is Willie Rao, the third is Sam, the fourth Alvin, and the fifth is Helen. So it got split into 5 tables. Then we applied this aggregate function on this. So we can write aggregate, the second step. It will always be only 3 steps: the split, the function, the aggregate function, and the third one is combine. So we applied the aggregate function. So what we did here, we applied size function on the order ID, right? Then we applied sum and mean on this value column, and the last one is we applied sum and mean on the sale column. So it calculated the mathematical values, and then again the third step is we got the combination of the splitted tables, right? And this is the results. So every time it is same, and don't worry, I'll show you. It is very easy in a bit. And the last example is this one. So here, this is an example of the trades happened on an exchange. So this is the account ID, this is the order ID, and this is the price when the trade executed, right? So when we apply a group by on this, the first step will be split, right? So what is happening here? We have 3 unique account number. The first is this, and second is this, and third is this one. So means these are the values of the particular account ID, right? So we got 3 separate tables, and then we applied this sum function on that. So the second is the aggregation function. It could be sum, mean, median, whatever you want. So it applied the sum on that. So you can see here, it will like add these three values, and all these values it will add, and similarly it will add these values. So this is the aggregate function, and the last step is that we will again combine these tables and we'll get this result here. The third one is combine. You can see here we got all these three rows, again the sum value on all these 5 rows, and last is the sum value on these 4 rows. So that's how this group by works, and I'm sure that you are able to imagine the possibilities with this group by object. And now let's move and practice some questions on various datasets, and let's see how it goes. Okay, let's start with some examples, and you will see that in real life scenarios also you will be using these kind of datasets only. So what I'm doing here, we are creating a dataset with 1 million rows. It will be a very big dataset, and you can even change as per your requirements, right? Because in real life also we'll be having large datasets, right? Because when we have exchange data, it is always huge. So what I will do here, I'll just run head shift enter. Now let's check the data frame df. So you can see that we have 1 million rows and 7 columns, and even if you want you can check the info, and you will see that it is almost 53.4 MB. So before that, what we can do, we can just convert this to a CSV file. So what I will do here, I'll write df dot to CSV, and then we can give the name of CSV file. So let's say exchange trade data dot CSV, right? So when we hit shift enter, you will see that we have a new file, this one, and when we click on that, you will see the data here, right? It is huge data. So I'll go back here and let's comment this out for now. So I'll keep this in file only. So if you want, you can take and use as per your requirements. Now what we can do, we can just import this as we were doing previously. So I'll give it a name. Let's say exchange df and pd dot read CSV. We can give the name as exchange trade data dot CSV, right? And let's print it exchange df. And now when you check the info, you will see that it is almost 61 MB, right? With 7 columns and 1 million rows. And also inside that we have integer 64 with the 3 columns, and remaining all are objects, that is string, right? So now let's apply head on this. So what we do before performing any actions, we just check what exactly is there, right? So when I apply head, you will see a top 5 columns, and in that we have tickers as Apple, Google, Microsoft, BTC, ETH with the timestamp and the exchange, because whenever we trade on exchanges, we always have a different trade ID. Now let me apply group by on this. So before that, let's also apply sample. So we'll take a sample of, let's say, 30 rows. You will see that we have 6 tickers. You can see here Apple, Google, Microsoft, BTC, ETH and XRP. So randomly it gave us 30 rows, and here we have different exchanges, different tickers, that is 6, and also the price, volume, buy, sell or trade ID. So we get an idea, right? And as this is a synthetic data, so the prices are not like the real life, so just ignore that. This is just for the demonstration, right? Now let's apply the group by on this. So exchange df dot group by, and here we have to mention that on which column we want to apply the group by. So basically we know that we have 2 kinds of data. The one is numerical and another is categorical. So numerical means the price, volume, right? And in categorical, what happens, we have like 6 kind of categories of tickers here, and also we have how many kinds of exchange? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we also have 6 categories of exchanges, right? So we can say these are categorical data. The ticker, the exchange, or even the buy and sell also is a category, because we only have 2 categories, the buy and sell, right? So it is also a categorical data. So now when we apply group by, so we have to think logically, that on which columns we can apply group by. We always apply the group by on categorical data, because there is no sense applying group by on this price, because price might be in every row it is different 1 million, and we'll be having 1 million groups, and that doesn't make any sense, right? So means we can apply the group by on ticker, we can apply on the buy or sell, we can apply on exchange. Means we can have the 6 type of groups here, we can have 2 types of groups here, buy or sell, or we can have 6 type of exchange here. So when we apply group by on this ticker, it will split this data frame into 6 different data frames. Then we can apply any aggregate function, and then again it will combine back and give us the results. Similarly, if we apply the group by on this buy and sell, so it will split this whole data frame into 2 categories, the buy and the sell, 2 data frames you can say, right? And then we can apply our desired functions, and then we will again get a combination of those 2 categories, right? The split, the aggregation function, and then last is the combine. And again, if we apply group by on this exchange, it will split this whole table into 6 different tables, or we can say 6 different categories. And then we can apply the second step, the aggregation function, and the last is we'll get back the combination of those tables, right? So let's first try on this ticker. So I'll just copy this ticker name, and when I apply, you will get a simple object, a simple group by object. So there is nothing, you cannot see anything here, but now you can apply something on this, right? So we have ticker, so let's say I apply sum on this, right? So what will happen now, we applied group by on ticker, so internally it has split this whole data frame into 6 group. Means now Python knows that I have 6 groups, and now when I apply sum, so what will happen, all the numerical columns, it will apply sum and it will give us the result back. So let's check that. So when I hit shift enter, it will take some time because we have a huge data. Of course, it is 61 MB of data and 1 million rows. So definitely it will take time. My Mac mini might be crying right now. It's better if we applied on any single row. I think it was much better if we applied sum on any single column. Then it would have been much faster. But let's wait and check how much time it takes. It's about to complete a minute. I'll show you that it is applying sum on the whole data frame is not efficient always. So before that, you have to select your column, and then you should be applying, because here it was just a single sum function, but sometime we will be applying multiple functions. Let's say sum, min, max, so it will become so difficult. Now what happened actually, it applied sum on everything. We know that we had 6 categories: Apple, BTC, ETH, Google, Microsoft, and XRP. And what it did, it just aggregated everything, right? So even the timestamp, it concatenated, and ticker also XRP plus Google, it did like that. So that's why it took a lot of time. You can see here buy, sell, and even the trade ID. Only the sensible data here is the price and volume, right? Because it was numerical, rest everything is not required. So the efficient way to do that is, I'll just comment it out, is we can select our desired column here. Let's say after creating this object ticker, then what I will do, let's say I wanted the sum of volume only. So I'll just go ahead and write volume, and then I can apply sum on this. So it will be faster and also sensible, right? You can see here we have this sum of the volume of Apple, BTC, ETH, Google, and Microsoft and XRP, right? And also we can use it the traditional way which we were doing previously. So how we can achieve that? Exchange df, then we can apply on volume, and here we can apply sum, right? So actually it will give us the sum of everything. First we will apply on ticker, so we'll get all the tickers, and then actually we have to make a function here, right? Done that already. So first we have to find the unique tickers here, the array, then we have to apply a loop here. So for ticker in, let's make it as tickers, and now we can apply on volumes. So for that, let's also create an dictionary here. So we can say without group by, right? So volume sum and empty dictionary. So now when we apply here exchange df and then ticker equal to ticker, right? And then we can exchange df here, right? And then we can like find the volume here, and now we can apply sum, right? So here we can say sum volume, and then we can store that in the dictionary. So for that I have to write like volume sum and ticker is equal to sum volume, right? In last we can just print out the volume sum, and let me first comment out this. So when I hit shift enter, it will take some time and it will give us the sum of all these stocks, right? So you can see that it was little bit, we can create so many errors also. So now you can see that we have multiple ways, but in algo trading the time matters. So you have to apply the most efficient way, and group by is the most efficient way in the pandas for now, right? So let me show you this again on the next row and compare, and you'll see that it is same, right? The apple is 16700 and again the xrp is 260. So you can see that the speed of execution is way faster. It took 0.3 seconds and here it is almost 0.0 seconds, right? So definitely it is faster. Okay, now let's perform few more examples. So let's say we want to count the number of trades per ticker, right? So we have these 6 tickers and we want to check that how many trades happened per ticker. So what I will do, I'll again group by with ticker, right? And one more thing you can do for to save your time, you can just like assign a variable here, let's say tickers, right? And now you can count the number of trades. So for that, what you can do, you know that when you apply size on this, actually it is exactly the same because we applied the function here and it gave us the same number of rows for every ticker, that's why. But you get the idea, right? You can use this in the real life. Now let's check some group by attributes and methods. So first we have is the length. So let's say you want to find, you know that we have this group by object here, right? This one. So I just assigned a tickers variable here. And if you want to calculate the number of groups, so what you will do, you'll just go and apply length on this and you will get the number of groups, correct? So the next is find the items in each group. So we have just done that with the size. So means it will give us the number of rows, you can say, in every group. So it will definitely tell you the number of items, right? And again, we have the first and last. So we can get the first row of every group. So for that, what you will do, you will just, and you will get the first row of every group. You can see here the first row of every group, right? Similarly, you can get the last row. So tickers dot, and you will get the last row of every group, right? And if you want any specific row, so for that, what you can do, you can just use the nth function here and you can give the number of index. Let's say you want the fourth number of row of every group. So you'll write 5 and you will get the fourth number rows from the every group, right? Similarly, we have the get group function. So let's try that, tickers and get group, and you will see that similarly we have the get group function. Let's say we want to extract a particular group from the data frame. So what we can do, I can write tickers dot get group, and here you have to write the name of the group. Let's say I want to extract the BTC group here. So when I hit shift enter, you will get only the BTC values, right? So it will show you the number of rows, number of columns, and all those. And if you remember, we can perform this with some other techniques also, right? Which we have done previously, that is filtering. Let me show you how we can do that. So let's say we have tickers. We have this data frame exchange df, and we'll use this ticker here. And then we have to apply equals to BTC, correct? And then again, so when we apply this, we'll get a Boolean series, right? And now we can use this as a mask, and when we apply exchange df, you will get all the values. But of course this is very slow because this group by already have the groups, so it will just have to extract the btc group and it will give you quickly. But here it has to go through the whole data frame and definitely it will become slower, so it's better to use this one. But as we know that Python is very flexible and you can have multiple ways to perform a single operation, right? So I'll just comment this out for your reference in future, right? Okay, next we have is the groups, and groups is an attribute of this group by object. So for that, first we will write, make sure that this ticker is nothing but this syntax, right? And don't confuse with that. So tickers, and then I can apply groups on this, and you will get a dictionary. And what is happening here, that in Apple group, what is the index of the rows? So we know that at the 0th index we have the first row, right? And let me show you that also. So let me create another cell, and when I apply simple exchange df, 6th row, which is this apple, is at the 6th index, right? So that's why we are getting the 6, means this group is storing all the index positions of the rows of that particular group. So sometimes it might be handy but not that useful. So you can see this is a long list of dictionary. Next is describe, sample, and unique. So describe we have seen previously also everywhere, so in series and data frame. So when I apply on tickers describe, we'll get a numerical analysis of every group. You can see here that in the Apple group it is giving us the count, mean, standard deviation, then the minimum, 25 percentile, 50 percentile, 75 percentile, and the max, right? It's really a large numerical analysis and it is also useful sometimes. What we can do, we can write 5 here and you will get 5 values from every group. You can see here from Apple also we have 5 random values, random rows, and again from BTC, ETH, Google, and Microsoft and XRP, right? And the last we have here is the unique. So let me apply that also, unique, and you will get the number of unique values, right? As we know that there is no duplicated value, that's why you are getting the number of rows all unique. Okay, next we have is the aggregate method, and here we can apply different functions on different columns. Let me show you how. So first we have one group by object, right? Then let's give aggregate function here, and here we can pass a dictionary. So this is a dictionary here. Now let's say what I will do here, first we have is the volume column. So I'll pass here the volume column, and here I want to apply sum, right? And let's say then we'll try to find out the average price. So I can apply mean here, correct? And now when I hit shift enter, okay, actually we have to give a comma here, of course, and you will get exactly in the same sequence which we have you passed in the dictionary. So first we'll get the volume with the sum and price with the mean. If you want, you can even give minimum here and you will get all the minimum values, right? You can even get the maximum. You get the idea that how powerful this is. You can, like if you have multiple columns here, you can pass a dictionary, and with every column you are applying your desired operation on that. This is absolutely mind-blowing. Okay, now let's move to the next, and similarly we can pass a list. So here we mentioned that on volume I want sum and on price I want max. But here what is happening, let me show you that we have this exchange.info data frame, and inside that only 3 columns are with the integer 64 and the rest all are objects. So if I simply pass a list, then it will apply all those functions on every column. Like if we pass mean, so it will apply on ticker also, it will apply on volume also, it will apply on by exchange. It might break, the code might break. So for that, in this case, this dictionary is because we are applying only on the numerical columns. So for that, what you can do here, let's try, it might be wrong. We'll first check tickers, and here what we will do, we'll just go for the volume column, correct? And let's also go for the price column. So price. So now first we applied the group by, and then we are selecting only two columns. So here we can pass a list, let's say aggregate, and here in the list I will provide two functions. First one is, let's say, sum, and then mean. So now it will calculate the sum and mean of only these two columns. So when we shift enter, you will see that we have the sum and mean of these two columns, right? Hope you are able to understand. So if you want, here you can apply any kind of function, and you can see the power of group by object. It is really absolutely amazing.